For those of you that don't know me, I am the Resourceful Mother, and I connect families to health and happiness. I do that through nutritional consulting, hair analysis, food sensitivity testing, flower essences. I also help people through life coaching and through my unique perspective in how to heal people physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Some of us have had extremely challenging lives. And some of us are born with handicaps or with disease. When a soul chooses to do that, it is because that is what is going to help their soul grow the most. Because if we have our love language, if we're receiving it, then we are feeling the most loved and respected.
And the more we fill ourselves up with what we love and what makes us feel good inside, the healthier we'll be physically and the healthier we'll be emotionally. When we're tired, everything feels wrong. Have you ever heard a child go on and on about how horrible their life is when they're just completely fatigued? You're like, wow, you have no friends suddenly? Oh, and you're just listening to this is a disaster. And just think about what you loved and then start doing it. And the only way you can do it is if you start saying no to people, because you need your time. Now I know that when someone else doesn't love and appreciate me, they don't love and appreciate themselves. That's what I knew. So I didn't take it personally. I just thought, okay, I've got to set boundaries with this person. But literally, if someone is constantly criticizing you or telling you what to do or telling you what you're doing wrong, you are going to have anxiety and you're going to not feel good in your body. So you have permission to let go, either by setting boundaries or entirely let go of anybody that is not loving and appreciating you.
We can respond with love, or we can respond with fear. Those are the only two choices. So when we respond with love, what are we doing? We're opening our hearts. We're seeing things with grace. We are seeing someone else's pain and knowing that's why they're hurting us. We are living our lives with gratitude and appreciation. That's what love is. Fear is wanting to criticize others, judge others, yell at them or be angry at them, blame them. That's all fear.
All of us adults need to be with you kids, learning from you kids how to live our lives. But we still have to make money while we do that. You put that in your calendar, say, I'm going to play for half an hour on this day. And say you don't do it. Okay, fine, you don't do it. Put it in again in your calendar. When are you going to do it?
We always have to look at whatever our biggest challenge is and say, what has it taught me? And if you need to meet with someone to discuss it or go over it, do that. Because once you find that answer, if it's the right answer, you will relax about that from now on. If you find the truth, your body will know it's the truth, and you will not be concerned about those challenges anymore.
With the emotional connection, so was that, like you mentioned cutting your finger, but did that happen with accidents? Like you fall and break something, did you still?
Good question. I remember helping a very big man that got a shoulder injury in hockey. I was explaining the emotional connection, him being the eldest and his parents were both very sick. And I said, I think you're shouldering too much of the responsibility in your family. And he goes, no, I just fell and hurt my shoulder. And I said, but why didn't you fall and hurt your hip? Right? So I do believe there's an emotional connection there. So if you have a problem with your right ear, it means that you're not liking what you're hearing in what other people are saying. If you have a problem with your left ear, that is your internal voice. So that voice that says you're not good enough, or I'm going to fail this test, or I'm not going to make it on time, that is the voice that will create challenges. At the time she was diagnosed, she was needing 50 units of insulin a day. After she took out dairy and wheat, literally 2 weeks later, she only needed half that amount of insulin a day. Went down to 25 units a day. And they say there's nothing you can do about type 1 diabetes. The left side is your lady side. That's how I remember it, left lady. So it's your feminine side. And it is all about receiving.
But do you know that there's actually serotonin that is emitted from certain bark of trees? There's actually healing properties within the forest that help us. Like, who knew that there's serotonin in barks of trees?
Why do I have to do all this work on myself? Why do I have to come to love myself, forgive myself? The others in my life are not doing this work. And I say, but are they happy? And the answer is always no. Or one said to me, well, they seem to be happy. They can't be happy unless they're doing this work. It's impossible. We can all put on a good face, but unless we're doing the work, we can't be happy. We can starve as much from lack of wonder as we can from lack of food.
I'd just like to mention that I think your work with anxiety and depression in this current environment is outstanding, and I don't think you have flaunted that enough, and you save so many young men's lives.
Thank you. I'll tell you the number one way in which I save suicidal young men. I explain to them my proof that we live many lives. And I say to them, if you are here with this certain set of family members and friends that love you this much, and you love them this much, and you're here to learn a certain set of lessons, and you don't learn them, that means that you'll come back another life and you'll have to learn it all again. Would you take that chance, I say to them? And they say no. And that's my number one thing I say to them that helps them start working with me. Okay, let's figure out what's going on here. Your spirit guides will be so happy if you start paying attention to the signs, because it's a way in which they can communicate with you. And it's an easy way for them to communicate with you. So if you leave here and you notice there's a frog out in the snowy parking lot, that's something to look up, right? So they want to communicate with you. They want to help you. We are not alone, despite how alone we feel. The kids with autism are the most highly evolved souls of all. They're the ones that already know love, and they're here to teach us how to love. Earth is our hardest place to live. All the times that we're here feeling lonely, feeling frustrated, feeling we're not accomplishing things, that's because this is not our home. Our home is elsewhere. When you can find the answer where you love them and you just feel compassion for them and you see their pain, that's the ideal. That's what our soul comes to do. The more love we experience in our lifetimes here, the more our souls grow. You can be 90 years old and still need compliments. Why? You've lived your whole life. You've done all these great things, and yet you still need compliments. Why? Because this is not our home. Higher selves. This is our God-like self. Now, this is a part of ourselves that is located in the subconscious mind, and it is always guiding us to take the higher road. But we have to be able to listen to it, right? And they are guiding us to get closer to the divine, just like our angels and our spirit guides are guiding us to get closer to our higher selves. So everybody's got a role in helping us be the best people we can be. When someone is having challenges with people in their lives or circumstances in their lives, I will have them in a session go up to heaven and say, now, why would you have chosen this person? Why would you have chosen this circumstance? And just them having that different perspective can help them understand what lesson they might have come here to learn from that person or that circumstance. We all are either raised or exposed to religious beliefs that teach us all about hell, and that we're going to go to hell if we don't do things right. Through all of my research, over and over it is confirmed that we put ourselves in hell. So say someone dies, they have a choice whether to go to the light or not. And if they go to the light in heaven, they meet with a council of elders. First of all, other loved ones come to greet them, including their pets, because sometimes people wonder about that. Then they meet with a council of elders, and they go through their lifetime. It's almost like seeing video of your lifetime. And you say, oh, yeah, made a mistake there. Oh, yeah, I should have done that differently. But it's our own judgment of how we did things. The council of elders are spirits that have had many lives as humans. They no longer need to come here anymore. They have lots of wisdom, but they are not judgmental. They will help us see what we've done wrong. Next lifetime, your goal is to do more right. And that's why the adopted kids don't need to suffer the way they do all their lives. Seemingly, they all seem to feel unwanted. They don't need to. They can come and get a help to know that they chose this for themselves, to learn certain lessons, and to be with certain people that they want to be with in this life. So it's important that you know that asking for your health or your happiness is what the universe wants for you. I didn't pray for years because I didn't feel I deserved the answers to my prayers. All I would do was just be grateful for what I had. But interestingly enough, that is the highest form of prayer, is just being grateful for what you have. Now, here's the thing that hardly anybody talks about in this day and age when they're discussing manifesting your dreams. They don't talk about divine timing. You cannot know when your dreams are going to come true. Only God knows that, or the universe, or the higher power, however, it's universal intelligence, knows when your dreams will come to fruition. I said, please fill this room up with people so I can help the most amount of people. And I started heaving, sobbing, crying, because the answer was, this will happen for you. And I was like, wow, that's the first time that's happened. We will get confirmation of that our prayers are being answered the more years you do it. I mean, that's a lot of years that I've been praying, and I'm finally getting those responses in my body. But remember, I told you the story of how I wrote the last book, that the spiders were all around me telling me to be creative, and I wasn't ready to write that book. They started biting me until I actually wrote the book. So we are guided to do things. Sometimes we don't want to do it, but there's always a part of us that wants it, thankfully. And we have to follow more and more of what we're told to live the best lives we can live and to help the most amount of people. When we incorporate spirituality into our lives, you'll find that you feel more fulfilled, you feel more loving, you feel more as though you're matching your higher selves, and you experience the most joy possible. I can't stress enough the importance of implementing these things that you've learned in these seminars. The joy that you feel going through every aspect of your life, even just going to a grocery store or going to the dentist, it's unbelievable how happy you can be wherever you go in your life. And those feelings just keep growing and growing. It's almost like you're in love with someone and your love gets deeper and deeper as time goes on. It's like that. You just feel more and more joy as time progresses. And it's worth every bit of time you spend doing this work.
My job is to help today's youth heal physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I have been perfectly trained to do this job over the past 50 plus years. It is the clarity in which I see people, their greatness, and their struggles, and the speed in which I help people heal that makes me unique in my work. It is perspective that heals us, and I know how to channel and teach perspective. In one session or seminar, I open the hearts of those in attendance. They see themselves and their lives like never before. I am able to do this because they recognize my integrity and the truth in what I teach. They feel safe with me. Tears and other forms of release and recognition of the truth are inevitable. In one session, I turn suicidal individuals around. I identify and release one's major emotional block within one session. Attending one of my seminars helps people forgive themselves and others. In one session or seminar, I assist people in processing their past correctly so they can move forward, no longer sabotaging themselves, but taking the steps to come into love themselves. One session or seminar teaches people the thoughts that make them sick and how to nourish their physical bodies. And I know how to show individuals how to access and partner with universal intelligence to propel them along even faster in living the lives they want to live.